There are some groundwater features that are so unusual that people travel from all over the world to see them. And a lot of those have to do with this geothermal, this hot water being underneath the ground and coming to the surface. And if we look at where hot springs are in the United States, we can see that there are some on the in the Appalachian Mountains in the east and to the south of there, but primarily they're in the western United States just because it's a more tectonically active area. But we can see that there's one place in the United States that these are all kind of clustered, and that's in this corner of Wyoming up here, which is where Yellowstone National Park is. So Yellowstone National Park is a very spectacular area, but a lot of the features that people get out of their car to look at there are geothermal features that are caused by hot groundwater coming to the surface. One type of feature like this is called a geyser. So a geyser forms because there's some sort of cave or cavern system underneath the ground, and there's also a regular supply of heat to that area. And as this cave or cavern fills with water, this is kind of like a tea kettle. This volume of water gets heated up enough until the kettle starts steaming and whistling, and that's when the geyser would erupt. And this can happen at a very regular interval, such as Old Faithful occurs about every 70 minutes or so, because it takes about the same amount of time for this volume to fill with water and then for the geyser to erupt. And so people come from all over the world to see Old Faithful go off. It happens all the time. It's very consistent because the same underground chamber is being filled with water, being heated by the same heat source, and then once it reaches its boiling point, all of the steam comes gushing out of the ground, which is what causes the Old Faithful geyser. But there are other areas like the Mammoth Hot Springs area in Yellowstone National Park where we got other interesting features. This is where hot groundwater is dissolving limestone and then coming to the surface and then redepositing the limestone on these sorts of terraces. And because the water is so hot, it can also dissolve some kind of more rare minerals, which gives it some of these interesting colors like this bluish and orangish color that we see here. This is the geyser that other geysers were named after. This is a geyser this is in the town of Geyser in Iceland, and in that area, not quite the same concerns for safety. You're able to actually get much closer to that geyser as it erupts, and but the same sort of process is going on there. An underground cave is being filled with water. That water is being heated, and then the geyser erupts. But you don't have to go all the way to Iceland or to Yellowstone in order to see interesting geothermal events. This is a geothermal field called Bump-Ass Hell, which is in Lassen Volcano National Park in Northern California. And it was named after Kendall Bump-Ass, who was trying to develop this as a tourist resort, but was showing some people around there. The boardwalks were not there at the time. He stepped through a crust and went into some boiling hot geothermal water and severely burned his leg, and that was the end of having this developed as a resort.